Hi, 1 Hour Smart Home here, and today we're going to review the Leviton Smart Motion Sensing Dimmer, meaning that this is a smart motion sensor dimmer that you can control from your phone, just like this, and turn it on or off, and you can also dim it. But what is great about this is that it has a motion sensor built in, so that can automatically turn on or off when motion is detected. So I've got this in my garage right now, which is great because whenever I pull into the garage, it's going to automatically turn on with that little motion sensor, and then it's going to turn off 4 minutes after I've pulled into the garage, or it no longer senses motion. And you can adjust those settings, so it could be 4 minutes, 10 minutes, all the way up to an hour. But it is also a smart dimmer switch or a smart Wi-Fi dimmer light switch, meaning that I have control from my phone. So you've got the motion functionality of it, you've got the phone control of it, or the smart functionality of this smart dimmer, and you can also then control it right here from the device itself, turn it on or off. Now, what's really great about this switch is it has a ton of built-in features. You've got the motion sensor up top right here. You saw that little red light beep. And then right down here, you've got a status LED, and you can change how you have that turn on or off, but it's nice to be able to find it in the dark with that status LED. And then on the side here, you've got your dimming level LEDs, and you can make all kinds of adjustments to these LEDs, and we're going to show you how to do that when we get into the features of the device itself. Now, another unique feature of this Leviton Wi-Fi smart dimmer switch is that it's got a little piece right here that you can pull out, and what that is for is it disconnects the switch from the circuit, so that if you need to change some light bulbs, you can do so without worrying about electricity going up to your light bulbs and the rest of the circuit. So that's nice. You can pull that right there, that little tab, and then you've got a break in the circuit, so you don't have electricity going to any of those other devices when you've got this turned off. Now, this does require a neutral wire for installation, and if you don't know what that is, check out the links in the description below. But we do have another video that shows you how to install this Leviton Wi-Fi smart dimmer switch. So check that out. It is very easy to install. It took me probably 15 to 25 minutes to get this installed. And once it was installed, easy to set up on the phone and start making adjustments to the controls. So let's take a look at the app and how you can control this, and some of the deeper dive on the features of this switch and the smart functionality of this smart motion sensing dimmer. Here we are in the Leviton app, which has an easy to use interface. I've got a couple switches that I'm testing out here that I've got turned off or don't have connected, but the switch that we're currently reviewing is the motion sensor garage. And you can easily turn this on or off by just clicking the switch icon right there. But if you want to get into the details of the switch, you just click over here on these tabs where you got the three little buttons, and then you could turn it on or off right here at the top. But you can also adjust the dimming levels by pulling this tab up or down. So you can go all the way down to 1%, or you can bring it all the way up, or you can turn it on or off. Now, it also currently shows that the motion sensor or light switch is unoccupied. And if I walk past it, it will then say occupied. I'm recording this in another room right now, going through the features. So currently it shows unoccupied. And I think that is just a neat feature to have, that it tells you if that motion sensor has been tripped. Now I can go further into the settings. If I click down here, you've got your motion snooze and device settings. So let's click on motion snooze here. It says, how long would you like to disable motion sensing? You can choose 1 minute, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 30 minutes, all the way up to 24 hours. So you could just disable that if you didn't want this to trigger on or off when you walk by it. Maybe you're doing a project in your garage or wherever you've got this, or you just want it to stay on or off. You could just disable that motion sensing for a period of time. However, I've never had to use that. So I'm just going to click end motion snooze there. Now you can click on device settings, and you can go further here, and now you can change a device name if you want, but I like motion sensor garage. That's easy for me. And if I go into advanced settings, that's where you really can change a lot of different features on this device, which is what I really like about this Leviton Smart Motion Sensor Dimmer. So let's click on Device Options. Here you've got a couple different things that you can change around. You've got your status LED behavior, and you've got LED always off, status mode, LED is on when the lights are turned on, and locator mode, the status LED is on when the lights are turned off. So on the device, we showed you that earlier, there is an LED right under the motion sensor. And what I like about being able to change this around is depending on where you position this light switch in your home. For instance, let's say you had it in a bedroom and you didn't want to have that LED on at night and being distracting, you could just turn it to LED off. So we go up here and we click on LED always off. But maybe you're somebody that doesn't mind an LED light on your light switches at night and you want to be able to find it easily at night. Then you could click it over here and you could put it on locator mode, and then you're going to have that little LED to kind of guide you at night to see where that switch is. Personally, I don't like to have any LEDs on in the bedroom, so I always put that LED always off setting on because I have found it distracting in the past. Some of those LEDs are pretty bright, but it's nice that you can change it around to whatever you want here with this LED or status LED behavior mode. Now down here, you've got the LED bar behavior. So on the side of the light, there's also some LEDs and you can turn those to always off. So if you don't want those to turn on or off, or you can have it dim after the lights have changed status. So you can choose between 1 second, 3 seconds, or we can go all the way up to, let's see what it is, 25 seconds, or you can have it always on. So you can know exactly the dimming level of the light switch. Now, when you tap the light switch, this is going to go on if you've got it turned on, and you're just going to see the current dimming level. So it tries to represent with the LEDs on the side of the device what the current level is. So like 75%, 50%, you'd only have 2 of those little LED status lights on. For me, 3 seconds is great. You know what's going on, or you could have always on. So we'll just turn this up to a little bit higher. Let's do 10 seconds or something like that and leave it there. Now let's go back here and we've got some more options with our motion sensor. Let's click down there and levels by pulling this tab up or down. So you can go all the way down to 1%, or you can calibrate the motion sensor. And really, I haven't found this to be too much of an issue, but it is nice. You go in here, you click on this and you click start calibration. And what you can do is change the range and motion sensitivity. So you can walk by it and determine, hey, am I going to be able to trigger this when I walk through this area? So you can set it to high, or you can go down to medium, or you can go down to low. I just leave it on high because I want it to always trip, and I've never had an issue with false positives on this. So I'm going to click done on this and then go back. Now, you also have motion detection. You can go in here and enable it or disable it. I leave it enabled because that is the point of this Leviton Smart Wi-Fi dimmer switch, is that I want it to be used in my garage and automatically turn on when I walk by or when I pull in the garage with my car. So I want that enabled. But you could turn it off if you wanted to use it just like a typical Wi-Fi smart switch where you can control it from your phone, or where you can turn it on and off right from the switch itself. You could just disable that, and then it's no longer a motion sensing Wi-Fi light switch. It's just a typical Wi-Fi smart light switch that you're going to be able to control with your phone or right from the pad itself. It says lights turn off when there is no motion after 4 minutes. For me, that's been pretty great because it is so sensitive. I found that the lights never have really turned off to me when I'm getting out of my car or in the garage, because I'll trip it again if I walk past it, and that'll reset that 4-minute timer. But you could put this all the way up to 10 minutes, or you could go all the way up here. Let's see what it's got, 60 minutes, an hour. But I like to try and save as much energy as possible, so 4 minutes has been a good compromise for me. I could throw this a little bit lower, like 2 minutes, but for me, 4 has been great. I don't feel like I leave the lights on too long, and it gives me enough time to get in and out of my vehicle. And if I trip it again, it restarts that 4 minutes. So for me, that's been great. Now you've got some different modes down here. You've got occupancy mode, which will automatically turn on the lights when motion is detected and will turn lights off when no motion is detected. And that is the mode that I typically use. The vacancy mode requires you to manually turn the lights on, but will still turn the lights off when no motion is detected. So in vacancy mode, motion will never trigger your lights to turn on. However, it will trigger them to automatically turn off after motion is no longer detected. So that is kind of a nice feature if you don't ever want to have a false positive. Now, once again, I have never had that issue, but maybe you've got it near a window that people walk by a lot and you don't want to have that on, and you could go to vacancy mode where you manually turn it on, but it's still going to turn off after motion is no longer detected. It also says that vacancy mode can be used to comply with 2019 Title 24 Part 6 vacancy control device requirements. And that is some building code in certain areas where you have to have energy saving devices, and this would comply with that. So it's interesting to note that, and they say that there. But I like the occupancy mode, and for me that works great, so I'm going to leave it right there. It says motion LED feedback. It says a red LED light will give you feedback when motion is detected, and I just leave that on. There's a little red LED behind that motion detector screen, and I think it's nice to know when motion is detected, but if you didn't like that light, you could disable it. So I'm just going to leave it as it is and go back here, and let's go into some more of our settings here. Let's click on night settings. It says at night, turn on room lights or turn on guide light. The room lights will turn on at night when motion is detected. Or I can say turn on guide light. A guide light on the device will turn on at night instead of the room lights when motion is detected. It softly illuminates your way in the dark. So you've got the room lights, which are whatever you've got the light switch connected to. So in my case, I've got can lights, or you've got your guide light, which is a small LED on the device itself. We'll show you that here in a minute, that can turn on to kind of give you a little bit of an LED light without turning all the lights on in that specific room. So that's a nice feature. You could just go turn on guide light here. So maybe in a bathroom you've got this and you don't want it to turn on really bright and turn all those lights on if you're just getting up. You could leave it on that guide light feature, and then it's not going to turn all the lights on, but you'll still be able to kind of see where you're going. So we'll check that out here in a minute. It says night preset light level. Here we've got it disabled, but you could turn this, and we'll click it to enabled and click OK. And then you could also change this. So let's say you don't mind having all your lights turn on, your room lights, but you don't want them to be 100%. You want it to be dim because you don't want to maybe wake someone else up in your house, or you don't want all this light in your home at night disrupting you. You could choose a really low night preset light level, like 7% or even lower. So you can go lower or you can go higher. We'll leave this one all the way, we'll leave it at 50% for right now and just see what happens with that. Flip it up there to 50. So now that we've got that set, we can go on to the next thing here. It says, do you want to change the night settings time range for your residence? So we can click in here, and it's really cool because you can choose your time range for night settings below. So you can set a start time based on sunrise or sunset. So you click here, sunrise or sunset, or you can just pick a specific time right there. So we're going to click this over here, sunset, and then I can delay this a certain amount of time. And it's just importing sunrise and sunset from the data that you provide the device with your zip code. So it's just going to pull that data, and then you can delay this up to 120 minutes or bring it forward up to 120 minutes, and then you can set your end time. So for me, sunrise and sunset work. So at night, we've got it starting at sunset, and then we've got it ending at sunrise. But I could just choose a time for each of these if I wanted. So I'm going to click save right here, and then I'm going to go back. Now we've got our preset light level options here. It says you can return it to a previous brightness. So when I choose this option, return to previous brightness, whatever the light switch was last set to, that's what it's going to return to. But I like the brightness to always be 100% when I have the lights turned on when I pull into my garage, so I leave that right there, but you could certainly adjust that to whatever you want. Bulb options here, it allows you to tune for the bulb type. So if you've got an LED, an incandescent CFL, if you're getting any kind of flickering, you can change that around and make the bulb selection type, and that can just help you get better lighting. I've never had any issues with it, and I've got it connected to some LED can lights, which have worked out really well for me, so no problems there. It says fade on rate. You can have your lights fade on or fade off, so maybe you don't like a bright on or off. I'm just going to have mine to 0-second fade, but you could go all the way to 25 seconds if you want. It is kind of a neat feature if you like that kind of thing, the fade on and off, but I'm just going to have mine immediately come on. Then you've got a fade off rate, so you can do whatever you want here, 0 to 25 seconds. We'll just leave it on the 2 seconds, and then we're going to go back here. Now we've got the last one here, a dimming range. We can choose our dimming range. If you have any issues with light bulbs flickering, adjusting these minimum levels can help you, but I haven't had any issues, so I'm just going to set that down to minimum level 1 and maximum level 100. So that is pretty much all of the settings we've got here for the advanced settings. If you've got any Wi-Fi issues or you're changing your Wi-Fi network, you would just click that reconfigure wireless, so we're not going to go into that. But we do have a video that shows you how to set up this device, so check that out in the description below. And here we've got identify device, which is actually a really nice feature. And what it does is it makes the light switch flash, so that if you've got a whole bunch of these in your house, those LEDs will flash on the device, so you can identify this if you're not sure what the name is of a particular light switch, if you've got like 50 of these in your home. And then down here, the device health is just going to give you information like the serial number, the MAC address, Wi-Fi settings, and if it is connected. I'm not going to go into that because it does have all kinds of password information and everything else in there, but it is a nice little feature there, that device health. So that is pretty much everything we've got on the device itself and the app. Very easy to use. You can just turn it on or off from your phone. Click on, you click off, and then you can adjust those dimming levels. So very simple, easy to use interface, and you can tie this together with all kinds of other light switches on the app itself. But overall, very easy to use app and nice interface that I've liked so far. And you can go in here and there's even more settings you can go to. So if you want to adjust your integrations with Amazon, Alexa, Google Assistant, or HomeKit, it does work with all those voice assistants, so you can connect it to them, and you're going to be able to use voice commands to control your light switch if you've got a compatible smart assistant like an Amazon Echo Dot, or you've got a Google Home, or you've got a Siri or HomePod in your home. So overall, I really have liked this light switch. It was very easy to install. It's been easy to use, and it does exactly what I want it to do. It triggers every time I pull into the garage and turns my lights on, so that I don't have to worry about leaving lights on or off when I enter the garage. And then when I leave my garage, I don't have to think about it. The garage lights automatically turn off after that setting of 4 minutes, and I know that I'm saving energy because of it, and I don't have to worry about, did I leave the garage lights on? Did I leave them off? So I really have liked this switch. And then the smart functionality of it, being able to control it from my phone if I want to, is just an added bonus with this device. But what really is nice, all the customization you can do to really match it up with how you want it to work in your home or your shop. So you can have it set up so it'll go on for 30 minutes and stay on, or you can have it set so it'll just turn on for a minute and turn right back off. Now, what also is great about it is that it does work with Alexa, Google Home, and Siri, meaning that you can use this with voice commands if you have a compatible voice assistant. So with my Alexa Echo Dot, I can just say, Alexa, turn on the garage lights, and they're going to be on when I go down there. Or I can just walk past this sensor right when I come out the door next to it, and they're going to turn on as well. But I have really liked the motion sensing functionality of this way more than I thought I would, mainly so I don't forget to turn off the lights and waste a whole bunch of energy. So for me alone, that has been a huge win. So if you're interested in this, this is called the Leviton motion sensing dimmer right here, and it is the D2MSD smart light switch here. And I have liked it. It works just like any of the other Leviton smart switches. In general, Leviton and Lutron are kind of my two favorite brands for smart lighting anyways. Because they do work really well. So this has been a great addition to my house and a great addition to the garage. I gotta turn that back up because I keep hitting it down when I go there. So thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed this, please give us that thumbs up, subscribe, or click any of the links below if you want to support us. Thank you, and we'll see you next time.